2017 Austrian Grand Prix. Your commentators, Martin Brundle and David Croft.
And this heavyweight Formula One title fight in 2017, we have come to round 9 and we've come to the Styrian Hills. Welcome along to the Austrian Grand Prix. 71 laps ahead of us of this 2.68 mile circuit, and we've flown some 2,300 miles or so from the experience that was Baku to the experience that could be Spielberg this afternoon. And everything is set for another cracking battle. Mercedes on pole, but with Valtteri Bottas, Sebastian Vettel, the championship leader, on the front row for Ferrari. Not many corners here, a lot of elevation changes, fast speeds, not just in the DRS zones as well. And yesterday, the highest average speed of any single lap this season, 150.3 miles an hour for Valtteri Bottas to power that Mercedes around the track. I'm sure those Dutch fans there would like to see Max Verstappen get up to speed as well. But there could be a number of contenders today, especially if we do get a few sprinkles of rain. 19 cars on the grid. Pascal Wehrlein starts from the pit lane. And it's lights out, away we go. Excellent start from Valtteri Bottas. And already Daniel Ricciardo is right on the tail of Sebastian Vettel. Which way is he going to go? Bottas leads him into turn 1 ahead of Vettel. On the inside, Ricciardo is trying to get past Kimi Raikkonen, and going off there is Max Verstappen in the Red Bull dreadful style of him. Stoffel van Dorn's picked up places, even though he went very, very wide. Awful for Verstappen, better for Bottas. Into turn 3 we go. Down the inside goes Daniel Ricciardo. Pushes Kimi Raikkonen wide. Raikkonen rejoins the track now. Can he make up a place? No, he's got Romain Grosjean for company as they head down towards turn 4. Bottas from Vettel, then Ricciardo, Grosjean, and Raikkonen. Grosjean's going to try and go round the outside. Excellent start from the Haasman. Ricciardo just stays ahead of him. Ooh, what a start. Lewis Hamilton up into 6th place.
Hamilton then behind the Force India. I think it might have been a McLaren clattering in to Jos Verstappen. Carlos Sainz had an awful start as well and fell way back down the field. But a bit rude by Daniel Ricciardo, but effective and no problem at all, I'd imagine, with the stewards.
Just a little bit punchy from the winner in Baku 2 weeks ago. Lewis Hamilton in 6th place then as he comes round the final corner. His teammate heading already towards turn 1, and we ride on board with Max Verstappen limping around this Red Bull track. Started 5th, plumb last, and a long way from getting back to the pits.
He's either got a broken drive shaft or he's missing a rear tyre or something, because you can hear the engine revving, the gears are engaged, nothing is clattering around too much, but he's not got any drive. So Kvyat and Alonso into the pits.
Kvyat hit, Alonso hit Max Verstappen. Well spotted, Martin, you're untrained, aren't you?
I thought it was a McLaren of some sort flying in there.
Here comes Kimi Raikkonen and Romain Grosjean. Ferrari power battling each other going into turn 4. Grosjean stays in 4th place. He's got Raikkonen hot on his heels at the moment, and Kimi won't be giving that one up anytime soon.
Okay, Max, please pull over, stop the car, and retire the car, please. Position P1, hold 10 seconds, P0.
That will be 5 retirements in the last 7 Grand Prix for Max Verstappen, who is getting no luck at all, and Fernando Alonso out of this race as well. Massive disappointment, and I'm sure we'll hear the fallout from that in a few moments as well, as Sebastian Vettel sets the fastest lap of this race so far. He's in 2nd place behind Valtteri Bottas, Ricciardo, Grosjean, Raikkonen completing the top 5. Then comes Perez and Hamilton in 7th. He's lost a place on that last lap.
I think he jumped the start.
Okay, understood. Say to Charlie.
He did appear to get an excellent start, Martin. Did he jump in, I wonder?
I was looking at it when I couldn't quite see Bottas. They held the cars for what seemed an awful long time on the grid. It is a random amount that they allow, but Hamilton in between the 2 Force Indias, they're not going to be easy cars to pass.
The Haas might be an easy car to pass here. Kimi Raikkonen down the inside at turn 4. Raikkonen goes up into 4th place and stays ahead of Grosjean. Can Grosjean challenge into the next corner? No, he can't.
Hamilton falling a bit behind Perez there because he got a lot of oversteer coming out of turn 1 earlier in that lap.
Well, I'm not sure, jump start or not there. That is very touch and go.
Was it a poor start for Vettel or a great start for Bottas or a jump start for Bottas?
Vettel came under pressure from Daniel Ricciardo really, really early, and there you can see the melee behind, and no chance for Max Verstappen to avoid that whatsoever. Alonso going straight into him after the earlier touch from Danny Kvyat. We can ride on board with Fernando Alonso. Look, he got an excellent start. Then what happens?
Oh, he's got a thump. Got a thump from what looked like the Toro Rosso.
Any damage, any damage? Yeah, a lot of damage. I don't know why they push me so much, you know. They cannot play bowling.
Alonso was all in his mirrors, like just protecting himself, and then he gets the thump up the back, and Verstappen, having had the all-start, was also being very cautious, and a totally innocent bystander. And I think we're about to see Kvyat locks his brakes, thumps the McLaren, and round they all go. So that was just a mishmash of starts, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2 bad starts, 1 good start.
Noting Jolyon Palmer up into 12th place. His teammate Nico Hülkenberg got a really poor start, running down in 15th at the moment. So Hülkenberg, Wehrlein already up to 16th after starting from the pit lane, and ahead of his teammate Marcus Ericsson, who'd out-qualified him for the second time in 3 races. But Wehrlein already getting past Wehrlein on the super soft tyre and Ericsson on the ultra soft.
I'm making an apology for that bodywork, the coat hanger on the back of these cars that wobbles around in the world's finest motorsport competition. Thank goodness they're getting them off for next year. But anyway, so Hamilton had some DRS down into turn 4, but it's...
So tyre temperatures are now starting to peak. How is the balance now?
Pretty stable. Just got to watch the rear with the tailwinds.
Just also worth mentioning, because we haven't, Massa and Stroll, 9th and 10th. After starting 17th and 18th. Talking of the start, Christian Horner on the Red Bull pit wall.
We're going to see it pass here, Crofty. Sorry, I think we've got DRS, slipstream.
Is he going to go
with this? Yeah.
And does. Round the outside. Lewis Hamilton into turn 4, goes up into 5th place and past Romain Grosjean. On board with Lewis Hamilton, you can see the Ferrari ahead of him. Hamilton 320 kilometres or so before they apply the brakes. Now, does he get a decent exit, and can he now get into a slipstream behind Kimi Räikkönen heading up towards turn 3?
I thought he was going to drop it. I don't know about a decent exit. That looked very precarious, didn't it, in the McLaren? I think that line Lewis takes at turn 3 is intentional. He prefers a less acute angle, takes a longer run around the outside of it.
These laps that Räikkönen and Hamilton are putting in, about a 1/10 of a second slower than Sebastian Vettel at the moment. So Kimi Räikkönen racing his own race, and look how he struggled for grips. Hamilton there getting out of the right-hander, out of the hairpin. But these laps that Kimi is putting in, helping his teammate just a little bit. Still a long way to go in this race, of course. Sebastian Vettel at the moment extending his championship lead, of course, and there the intervals between the drivers, 6 seconds back to Valtteri Bottas. But for Sebastian Vettel, it's the gap to his nearest championship challenger he wants to worry about, and it's 10 seconds at the moment.
It does look to me as if Räikkönen could well do with a set of tyres. But as you pointed out, Croft, bring him in just yet while he could keep Hamilton at bay.
Onwards they go then, and we look from the rear wing of Kimi Räikkönen's Ferrari. 73 points of the championship going into this race. Hamilton has a little look down the inside, fewer than he had at this stage last year. Kimi Räikkönen, he had 81 points last year, but of course this race he also finished 3rd at. It was his final podium of the 2016 season. Is Hamilton going to have another look again? No, he's just a bit too far back.
Yeah, he had a scruffy exit on turn 3. Unfortunately, he got in just a touch deep. He looks like he might just have the pace down that back straight with a slipstream.
Hamilton, as Ted was wondering, does he come in first? Does Valtteri Bottas come in first? And it is Hamilton. They've decided at Mercedes, well, maybe the ultra soft can go to the end of the race. We've got a gap for you to come back out in. No point getting stuck behind Kimi for any much longer, and we'll make that pit stop. So 2.4 seconds, the stationary time. Hamilton comes back out onto the racetrack.
39 laps flat out on a set of ultras. Tall order.
Yeah, well, Pirelli are predicting 30 laps, but obviously as the fuel burns away and the car gets lighter, You might be able to do just a few more on that one. And what's interesting here is that Red Bull have responded. They needed to as well, because with the lap times that Hamilton is now setting, Ricciardo would have been in grave danger of being overtaken by the British driver. And, out onto the racetrack comes Daniel Ricciardo, just looking now down the main straight.
Tricky little pit exit here.
Yeah.
It's not. We have seen F2 cars buried in that wall there. You have to be very careful coming out of there.
Here comes Sebastian Vettel for his pit stop. Very neat work there by the guys at the rear. Super soft tyres going on to the Ferrari. Kimi Raikkonen will move ahead, but of course he hasn't pitted yet. Vettel back out onto the racetrack in a few seconds, making the climb out of the pit lane exit, and back on his way he goes. This is Kimi Raikkonen on the run up, and it's a long way up there towards turn 3.
I can take this one. If it's a solid blue, it's more out of the way. Confirm.
Because if he pits, well, he's just got to hope that Lewis runs into further deep trouble, doesn't he? Because he's clear of Ocon if he pits now. 20 seconds plus the 20 seconds.
Yeah, there's not much left in the tyre.
Or is he going to stay on a? Is he going to stay on a 1, Kimi, while everybody goes to a 2?
What they're doing, I think, Ted, is leaving Kimi out and stopping Bottas having a comfortable pit stop, and they're going to do that anyway. So if Bottas pitted, he'll come out very close to, or probably behind, Raikkonen at this point. That's why they were forced to leave him out longer than they ideally wanted to. Off comes the visor strip.
So this could get quite close here. And the guys get to work. They need to be rapid for Valtteri Bottas, and that's not very rapid at all. For whatever reason, Kimi Raikkonen's now coming through the final turn, 3.4 seconds. So it's about at least half a second slower than normal. There goes Kimi Raikkonen into turn 1. Inside line for Valtteri Bottas. Raikkonen now takes the lead of this race, even though he hasn't pitted. And Jolyon Palmer is kind of the filling in that particular sandwich. And here's Sebastian Vettel. So Vettel is a bit closer now to Valtteri Bottas. You can bet your bottom dollar that Kimi Raikkonen is going to try and hang on in there as long as he possibly can to bring his teammate back into play for a possible win.
The two Finns once again staring at the same piece of tarmac.
Yeah.
How long can he keep him behind? How hard will he work at keeping him behind? Will he be fed up? He's being used once again as a tactical instrument in the race.
Whether he's fed up or not, there's one man he's not going to enjoy seeing go past him, is Valtteri Bottas, because these two have a bit of previous from the two collisions earlier in this season. But Bottas pulls to the outside now, and it might actually be a little bit easier for him. It is. Kimi Raikkonen sees Valtteri Bottas sail past into turn 4 and away into the distance, and Ferrari should be able to bring Kimi in now. If he held up his fellow Finn, it wasn't by much, and it certainly wasn't for very long.
Yeah, he had a really scrappy turn 3, didn't he? So it was candy from a baby for Bottas in that car on those fresh tyres. And as you say, it'd be amazing if they don't now pit Raikkonen straight away. Pretty similar to that, really.
And they are pitting Kimi Raikkonen straight away. Worth the gamble. He shouldn't lose anything, as his race engineer Dave Greenwood was saying. Lewis Hamilton not exactly impressing with his lap times and struggling a little bit on those ultra soft tyres. His last lap of 1:08.3. Hamilton at the moment coming past the start-finish line.
Hamilton 0.8 of a second behind Ricciardo in 3rd place. 2 to go. One Mercedes under pressure, the other giving pressure.
Bottas, as it was in Sochi. Sebastian Vettel on his tail, locks up a little bit, survives that one corner. Hamilton goes very deep and now gets a decent exit.
He's got
coming
a great
out
chance now.
of turn 3. You're right, Martin. He's right on Ricciardo's tail. He's got DRS there. He's looking for a podium spot. Is Lewis Hamilton. He's alongside the Red Bull. Is he past the Red Bull? Inside line for Ricciardo. Just hangs on to 3rd place. Going through turn 4. This battle is set to go down maybe to the final lap as the Red Bull just holds station through the midsection.
Hamilton struggling in the turbulent air coming off the back of the Red Bull in the section of the track where the Red Bull is just playing faster anyway. So his chance will be keep it close down the pit straight, give himself a chance down the back straight. once more on the final lap.
Meanwhile, Sebastian Vettel now 6/10 behind Valtteri Bottas. He's closed even more on the penultimate lap. They go through the first corner. Hamilton and Ricciardo next to go through turn 1. DRS once again for Hamilton, who needs a good exit coming out of turn 1 to go on and challenge Ricciardo once again. Bottas further up the road manages to keep Vettel at bay.
Okay, mate, this is the last lap. Get your elbows out. This is for the podium. Last lap.
Who's got the biggest elbows? Can Hamilton get a decent exit once again and make that challenge into turn 4? Is Sebastian Vettel going to go for it? No, he's not. Is Hamilton a bit too far behind? He's gaining. He's gaining. Is he gaining enough? No, not quite. As Sergio Perez tries to move out of the way of the third and fourth place.
Oh, that's going to go wide. Oh, well saved.
Very wide indeed, but he hasn't lost too much time, has he? Bottas squirming around, hasn't got the grip that he wants, holding off Sebastian Vettel for what is a thrilling climax to the Austrian Grand Prix. Bottas, who picked up the first win of his career in Russia earlier this season, started on pole here in Austria this afternoon, has now completed all 10 corners of the final lap and crosses the line to win again in Formula 1. It's Bottas from Vettel, and completing the podium places, Daniel Ricciardo comes home to hold off Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton gave it his all, but in the end it just wasn't quite good enough. It's champagne time and smiles for Ricciardo and for Red Bull. For Sebastian Vettel, he extends his championship lead to 20 points. For Valtteri Bottas, he puts himself right in the mix as we head to Silverstone and the halfway stage of this season.
It's so strong.